So I'm Luke Pearson from Pearson Lloyd. I'm going to tell you a little bit about SixE, which is the chair program we designed for HOWE a few years ago, and we've just introduced a new set of colours which we're very excited about. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the inspiration for those. We've for a long time had a very great interest in travelling around the world and witnessing the way in which different cultures and different environments find, utilise and express colour differently. And Scandinavian countries have got a very particular way of dealing with colour, and we were very interested by the relationship of the city, which is a sort of the beating heart of Denmark, Copenhagen, with the extraordinary landscape that surrounds it. Copenhagen obviously abuts the sea, which is very raw, and when you travel into the countryside, you eventually get to HOWE, which is a very, very different quality. So we decided to build a palette of colours that was based on this idea of nature and nurture, where nature is obviously the surrounding landscape and nurture is the urban landscape, the city, Copenhagen. And we picked out interesting combinations of colours that we found in these environments and then sort of merged them together into a cohesive palette. So I think one of the biggest challenges of doing that was finding colours that had individuality and personality, but that weren't overpowering on their own, but would also come together in an unpredictable way with different colours in the range, but also with colours within the environment of an office landscape, for example, which are unpredictable. So we didn't want anything to be too overpowering, but we wanted things to have a definite personality, and I think that was probably the biggest challenge in getting that balance and that sweet spot. I think in terms of the project and the history of the project, we were asked if there was anything fun and particularly memorable. I think all projects are memorable for different reasons. I think this particular project was one of the first projects where the client was so particular and adamant about the environmental credentials that the product had to have, but also the production of the product. And so from the outset, the ambition not to have any glass fibre in the shell was quite demanding for a plastic shell to offer the right level of support for a very large demographic group in terms of different weights who flex the shell differently, but also to ensure that it satisfied all the standards and wouldn't break. And we've achieved that with these really interesting compound surfaces which effectively run over the shell, but in doing so they are coupled to a very deep and careful study around the ergonomics, following in HOWE's wonderful tradition of comfort after the 40 and 4. And those two things have an incredible sort of synergy and build the personality, the quality of the chair. And so I think the fact that HOWE tenaciously followed this path of environmental sort of high credentials, which in turn informed us as designers and steered us to a very particular conclusion. And that is a really interesting relationship for me. I think the thing that I most like about SixE is that it has so many different qualities that are embodied in the design and fully integrated. It's super comfortable, it's environmentally very well considered, it's beautifully engineered. We think aesthetically it's gentle on the eye and harmonious, but it has character. And I think it will stand the test of time. You know, it's very strong, it's confident, but neutral. And I think, like lots of very good furniture, it has to be all of those things. So hopefully, you know, the proof of the pudding will be in the eating, but we hope very much that you'll like the new colours that we've introduced, and it will change your perception and enjoyment of the chair. And I hope that's been of help. Thank you. Bye.